Hello, dear viewers. Welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I apologize for the interruption in the previous video, but it was getting kind of long anyway, so we'll say that I meant to do that. But real life called, and so I did not wish to be impolite. Oh, well. What is this teleport trap on top of? Nothing? I can't tell. It looks like it's on top of something, but whatever. If you have an amulet of stasis, you can actually use teleport traps as a really good stash location. You can just drop everything in that one spot, and the amulet of stasis will prevent you from being teleported. Meanwhile, monsters will never, ever, ever, ever be able to touch anything there. So it's a very reliable way to stash things. We still have tons of stuff in our inventory. Let's identify this potion. There's still a chance that it's something bad at this point. Potion of strong poison. Yup. Gross. Seems like a bad idea to march through a bunch of shallow water. I mean, we have evocable flight, which is nice, but no reason to put ourselves at risk unnecessarily. I'm really looking forward to when they redo ranged combat. I think that's going to be fun. I'm immediately going to try out a hunter. Maybe an arcane marksman. I haven't messed around with them much. A cheese. Let's eat it. I'm just kind of eating the permafood in here. I don't think it's going to be too vital that we cart out all of these fruits and things. Fruit is actually super important if you are a follower of Fadasmadash. Some of the abilities require fruit. Increase in attributes. I think we still want to be putting points into dexterity. I feel like a strength is really good, even without our gloves of strength. Yeah, dexterity is probably the way to go. Intelligence, meh. It's high enough. Ooh, even better passive mapping. Cool. Let's drink this potion of curing. Just get rid of that poison. It's probably worth it. Potions of curing are common enough, and they don't heal enough to be super necessary throughout the dungeon. I don't think. For us, I mean, they're really nice as far as getting rid of confusion goes, but with our Amulet of Clarity, we don't have to worry about confusion anyway. A ring. Let's try it out. Positive energy, maybe? Ooh, a +0/+6 ring of slaying. That's kind of nice. Let's see how many charges this Wand of Lightning has left. And this one. Ah, okay. Well, we can just ditch this one. That's fine. So 6 extra damage versus 3 armor class. The 6 extra damage is really tempting. But it is really nice having very high defensive stats. And our guaranteed damage reduction isn't great with leather armor. It's only 15% or so, I think. Well, we'll keep this on for now, just because Javelineers are a thing in the shoals. I'm so eloquent. Javelins are just really painful, but it's affected by armor class, so we want high armor class. Scroll of Acquirement, yay! Give us something good. Data needs a new pair of shoes. Ooh, crystal plate armor. Artifact crystal plate armor. Let's just identify it. -1. Lets us berserk. Makes us super unstealthy. And that's it, huh? Another thing they're getting rid of in 0.15 is weight. You don't have to worry about not being strong enough to carry things anymore, which is so cool. Hmm. I don't think our armor is high enough to effectively use that. How are our spells doing? We'll see when it gets to level 3. Yeah, that crystal plate, potentially an option. I don't want to speak too soon. Shoals 4. Okay, good. For a second, I thought I saw these stone walls, this sort of little vault-like thing, and I thought we were on Shoals 5, which would be a lot scarier. Considering how many uniques we've seen, I don't know how scary Vaults 5 or Shoals 5 is going to be. Probably super scary, if I had to guess. Shoals 5 can be really rough. Lots of Javelineers, lots of Impalers, which are just very strong melee attackers. Okay, man, one hit from this guy and it shatters a potion. How obnoxious. I'm so glad that they're getting rid of that in 0.15. This preservation effect is... It's just really frustrating to not have it and to lose your stuff, but having it means you can't do other things. I don't know. I will not be sad to see it go. Some players may poo-poo the ease that it will create, but whatever. This game is hard. This game is really hard. Like, if they made it, 10 times easier, sure, maybe that would be overkill. But keeping your stuff from blowing up when you encounter elemental monsters out of nowhere, I don't think that's going to, dramatically increase the rate at which people can win. Okay, so... 14% isn't great. But beyond level 3, I don't really want to put points into it. We'll keep it at that. It's a possible option. Like summoning, we probably want to put a couple of points into. Yeah. That was the one that already shattered. It wasn't a new one. Okay. Beat you up, fawn. We don't like no fawns here. We are not a bacchanal. Or whatever the followers of Bacchus are. Ah! Interesting. Oh, I guess they're large enough to just wade through deep water. That's very interesting. Well, let's close this door. Get ourselves a little demon friend. I don't like this. I don't like being hit by more than one of these guys at once. That was maybe not the best positioning. What if we do this? That's doing some work. It used to be that if you shot electricity through or over or into water, it would shock everything around it. But they removed that feature, I think for the better. It was a little frustrating when you were also around that area. Okay, yeah, so any damage we took is already healed up by Machleb's favor. Let's see if there's anything... Ooh, there are some interesting things here. What is this? A large ivory amulet? Oh, it's not an artifact. That's too bad. I thought it was. Let's back up and drop this wand. And let's wait here for our flight to run out and re-evoke it. Because we can't evoke it again in the air. Which means if we were to... Yeah, see, you can only stop flying there. Where is it? A large ivory amulet. I suppose I shouldn't have just willy-nilly put that on, because it could have been an amulet of faith. And that would have been obnoxious, having to lose more piety to remove it. It was a little foolish of me, but whatever. Not the worst thing. We don't really need that other sack of spiders. We can eat one of these bread rations. Come to me, Cyclops. And fellow Cyclops. I will slay thee. I guess there are little areas of shallow water around here. Careful, we are starting to lose our buoyancy. It's nice that it gives you a big, bold message in red letters. If you're over deep water. If you're next to shallow water or a shore, it's no longer auto-death if you fall into deep water. Which is nice. I think you still die if you fly out over the Marina Trench or something. And oh, no, we want to kill you. This minor destruction is kinda unreliable. Yeah, those drowned souls are just really nasty. Ugh. Hate them. Sirens, mermaids in general. So those sirens specifically are frustrating to deal with. One of my least favorite enemies in the shoals. They can get really super dangerous really fast if you find them in conjunction with several other enemies. Just not fun. So I think we can probably do Shoals 5. We can at least poke our heads in without fear of being obliterated. Yeah. Shoals 5 typically is several of these little vault rooms scattered throughout some islands. They usually have impalers, yeah. Glowing Demon Trident. Demon Tridents hurt. I think they're 11 base damage. Ooh, Ilsu. Call Tide is pretty painful, especially if you're standing over water. Oh, T.S. Eliot. Cool. Neat. She's pretty dangerous. She hurts a lot. She can get out of hand real quick. Well, let's... Bye! Let's try another staircase. Much better. Hello, Griffin. Humph. Can go eat this Choco. Oh, and we might as well clear these staircases while we're at it. That one I don't care about as much. Okay, That particular little vaultlet seemed pretty rough. Snapping turtles do possess reach, as per polearm or whatever. This is another little vaultlet that we have going on here, probably full of impalers and javelineers and such. Harpies, not a problem. Annoying, yes. Dangerous, no. Basically just big bats at this point. With our defensive capabilities. Visibility, meh, getting there. I like our training spread, though. I do think getting to 25 shields is going to be pretty neat for us. Being able to use a large shield. I mean, we have a large shield that does something good for us, so, you know, we're in a good spot already. Ugh. That, let's stop flying, in fact. Wind drakes can take advantage of your flight quite easily. They cannot push you into deep water, so you don't have to worry about that. Their wind buffet ability or whatever. Ring of protection from fire. Yes, ignore it. We don't need 2 rings of protection from fire. We will, in theory, find another source of fire resistance at some point, so that we don't have to wear 2 rings of protection from fire. That would just be obnoxious. Using both our ring slots for a basic resistance. Rather sour, but delicious nonetheless. We can always come back for that scroll later. Oh, Ilsu. Good. Friendly demon. Friendly demon. Let's get another friendly demon. Alright. Let's back up a little bit. Kind of let them deal with some of these water elementals and such. The satyr plays a rousing melody on its pipes. I don't know exactly what that does, but... Wow, it took out our major demon fairly quickly. This is actually... Let's think about this. This is a very dangerous situation that we're in. We have a number of very powerful enemies surrounding us. Well, not surrounding us, but our escape route is blocked by this water, so we would have to evoke flight at some point. We do have a staircase there. We do have a source of haste. I think this would be a reasonable place to use an evocable. Aim the lamp towards Ilsu. Yeah. Humph. Looks like that Impaler is using a Demon Trident of Venom, but that's not too bad for us. Let's get... I kind of want to... Oh, here we go. Perfect point to use a Scroll of Summoning. I guess let's go ahead and drink this Potion of Haste. Now is a reasonable time. So we can kill Ilsu before she does too much more damage to us. Get rid of those summoned critters, summoned water elementals. Yeah. Get rid of the water elementals that can engulf us. Wow. Makleb is really helping us out this fight. He's been a bro. Makleb, a bro. Yeah, whatever. Cool. That went well. An uncursed demon trident of venom. Oh, base damage 12. Yeah. Demon tridents are good. They're really good. They're the best one-handed polearm. Unless maybe you bless it, like a blessed trident is maybe better. I don't know. I feel like we handled that fight reasonably well. There might have been a better way to do it, but considering we came out of it using only one consumable and some piety, I think it was pretty reasonable. And we took down a unique and a handful of Cyclopses, and a bunch of water elementals, and I'm not worried about their slings. I just kind of want them to close with me so I can slay them. I don't think they will. So we'll just hack our way through some plants and see what's going on with this. Are these walls diggable? Let's experiment. Yeah, rock walls are. Stone walls are not. Ooh, is that artifact chainmail? That could be really good for us. Yeah, that Javelineer. You saw he did some damage to us there, although I kind of just bashed our way through it. Makleb again, healing us up. Doing some work. Alright. Guess we're out of scrolls of Identify. Whatever, we're gonna pick it right back up anyway. Presumably. We need to drop something. Ugh, I hate making decisions between useful things. Whatever, we'll use this and enchant our boots. Kind of a waste of that scroll, but whatever. I didn't want to stand there debating for any longer, so I just got rid of it. And, you know, it gave us an extra armor class, so yay. We obviously don't want to, like, spend a bunch of turns putting on this cumbersome armor when we haven't explored the rest of this level yet. This passive magic mapping is pretty cool. I like it. It's one of those things where it doesn't feel like it's not breaking the game clearly. Standing next to a Zot trap is often pretty safe. Like, monsters won't usually wander into them. I think they have a pretty good sense of where they are. But they certainly won't walk into them. Let's just turn off some of these wands. Oop. Yeah, we haven't found hasting or invisibility, I guess. Okay, so we don't care about wands of confusion or draining. Draining is powerful, but it reduces the experience you get from the monster that you slay, and it's also really bad against, like, demons and undead and stuff. Just doesn't do anything against them. Flame is useless. Frost is useless. Magic darts is useless. Paralysis, probably not good. Random effects, definitely useless. Slowing. Yeah. Yeah, that seems good. Okay. Okay. Oh, a scroll of Identify. Good. Let's identify, I guess, this ring? Ring of Regeneration. 100% useless to us. Unlike Trog's Hand, many sources of regeneration do not benefit us. Things that enhance your natural regeneration do not work. An Amulet of Inaccuracy. Well, that's swell. What is this? A +1 chainmail. That's fine, I suppose. What else does it do? Accuracy and the stealth boost. Even though it specifically says on the chainmail that it hinders quick and stealthy movement. Okay, so it doesn't give us any resistances, which are very important in the late game. Resistances are as important, if not more important, than straight up armor class. But when we get back to our stash, we'll put it on and see how much armor class it gives us. If it's just a whole ton extra, then we will consider using it. 2% chance and we fail to use our ability. We're just awesome. Interesting. I thought that the rune would have been in this little vaultlet, because that's where Ilsu and the others were. Could be in any one of these, though. It just means that we're not done with these guys yet. Tomahawks, as we discovered earlier on in the dungeon, don't do anything to us. This is why throwing is currently very bad. Oh, if you can... Merfolk do get a bonus to their evasion in water, so if you can draw them out of the water... What is this? Potion of Brilliance? Oh, we should definitely turn off picking up Potions of Brilliance. It's not that they're completely worthless to us, but they're pretty bad. We're not worried about trying to cast spells. There we go. More merfolk. Let's fly so that this water nymph doesn't... Well, there we go. Yeah, we don't want to be stumbling around in the shallow water there. Killing some merfolk and a manticore. I like manticores. I think they're just such a cool enemy. Even before they added the barbs, I thought they were cool. Now I think they're really cool. I just think that they're really well designed. Like, they're not... They're just not annoying. Like, they're strong, and if you don't approach them right, you can take a lot of damage unnecessarily. But, I don't know. I just... Good design. Good job, developers. Not that you need my approval, but... Aquamancers are kind of frustrating, but that one didn't summon anything particularly loathsome. Ugh. Summoning water all over the place. Let's get some flight going. Aquamancers can hurt a ton if you're over water, which is why I'm not super enthused about being where we are right now. This is probably where the rune is. This seems like a pretty tough vault. Ow! Let's heal ourselves a little bit. We're unnecessarily close to... Let's read this Scroll of Fog. And heal ourselves again. Okay. Each enemy that we kill is a big boon to us. That was maybe the best Scroll of Fog that I've ever read. I feel like it saved us a ton of damage from those Javelineers. Yeah, we're back up to full health. Oh, Mocklub is really good for deep dwarves. It's so good. Silver javelins, yeah. Fortunately, silver doesn't do any additional damage to us. Unlike when we were demon spawn. Man, silver was really painful then. Super, super painful. Though we would have died there had we been a demon spawn. I have little doubt. I mean, unless we had approached it much more cautiously. Ah, Kraken! A gargantuan sea monster, capable of devouring entire ships. It embraces them with its tentacles and draws them into the depths. Fortunately, the tentacles are too big to embrace a small creature like you. Oh, this is interesting. A text from 1781. Good to know that the Kraken is smaller than 16 kilometers. What an interesting description. Could one doubt that this is the Leviathan of Job? That's really cool. Looks like maybe a Viking text. Oh, no, it wouldn't be Viking. That's 1781. That's far after the days of pillaging. Norwegian text, though. We could probably kill a kraken. The trick with krakens is to sort of attack the tentacles as they attack you. Oh, it's retreated under the waves. Hey, there we go. Oh. Stop running away from us. Cowardly kraken. There we go. Bam. Dead kraken. And the second rune of Zot. Da 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 da. Cool. We have 2 runes now. We are 2/3 of the way to being able to enter the realm of Zot. So after this, we have the vaults, which are going to be tough. I think we're going to need some more equipment before we tackle the vaults. I don't know where we're going to find it, mind you, but I would like to have some. Okay, there could be a lot more dudes in here. No, just some manticores, one of which was sleeping soundly enough for us to sneak up on it. I guess we are fairly stealthy. Interesting. Yes? No. Ah, we're back up to max piety with Machleb. That's good. Not that we were, you know, experiencing great detriment because we weren't at max piety, but... Well, cool! That's the shoals right there. Done and done. So, I guess, well, let's see what we have left. We have Elf 3. We have the slime pits. We have the vaults, and we have the depths. And that's it, huh? Interesting. One thing I'm considering is sort of delving into the depths a little bit and seeing if we can't find the Vestibule of Hell. Oh, no, that's a terrible idea. We don't have fire resistance worth anything. Let's, yeah, our fire resistance is, well, nothing right now, and, we only have... I mean, we could go pick up another Ring of Fire, but whatever. We don't want to put on 2 Rings of Fire. Plus, this +5 dexterity is, I think, still important to us. Maybe once we get up to level 27 and we've, you know, naturally put... We get, at least 2 more... Is it every 3 levels we get to put a point into things? I think so. Maybe. I don't know. We have 2 or 3 more natural stat points that we'll get to put into dexterity. Plus anything we find on, you know, nice little artifacts. I don't want to do the slime pits yet. Again, we don't have slots to really protect against that. Okay, so let's see what we're working with here. We have armor class of 28, evasion of 24, versus armor class of 22, evasion of 30. So it's a 6-point swing either way. But this gives us 2 resistances as opposed to none. The accuracy +2 is basically worthless. And this... Let's see how stealthy we are. Extremely unstealthy. Yeah, what a useless bonus to have on chainmail or plate armor. Then again, I mean, we don't have any points in stealth, so it's not like we're really trying very hard to sneak around. By the way, dear viewers, if you wish to stop the video at this point, I won't be proceeding on to anywhere else. I'm just going to be hemming and hawing about my stash here as I try to figure out how we're going to slim down on our inventory. Oh, well, we could have gotten rid of this Amulet of Inaccuracy a while ago. Bleh. This Amulet of Faith served us well, but we don't need it anymore. We don't need you. Oh, let's try on this Crystal Plate Armor. 22 and 30 versus 35 and 17. So an additional 13 armor class, but yeah, another 13-point swing. Or no net loss. It just makes us a lot more armored and... Man, if it had, you know, some... If it had some bonuses to it, the Berserk just isn't so useful that it's worth switching to. If it weren't a -1, if it were like a... Let's say if it were a +5, I would switch to it. If it bumped us up to over 40 armor class, I would switch to it. As is, I think the resistances here are really nice. Yeah. So let's drop off this armor. This shield, I did do some research after between the last video and this one, after I was done speaking on the phone. I did some research on what shields actually do if you don't have proper skill level, and it adds to the delay of your attacks. And it also penalizes your evasion. So, although maybe it penalizes... No, yeah. It penalizes your evasion and it adds to your attack delay. So, we really do want to have 25 skill before we put on a large shield. Really, at all. So, we're going to go ahead and drop this off. I think we don't need to carry it around with us. I think that's a little excessive. I carded this book back here because Tukima's Dance is kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. The Book of Party Tricks is just so neat. And see, butterflies! Yay! Butterflies is just great because it provides, like, a roadblock between your enemies and you. They're just... Plus, they're pretty. See? Butterflies everywhere. Oh, a quokka. Hi. Food! Thanks, quokka. See, this cloak would be good for a stabber. Because you don't really care a ton about your damage as a stabber, since it's multiplied so much. It's like... a successful stab with a dagger is something like... I don't know, 400% maybe? Maybe even more than that. Like, well, why don't I look it up? That's a useful thing for you and I to know, dear viewers. Oh, yeah, here we go. So it's the way stabbing works now, it used to be its own unique skill, but in their wisdom, they changed it to be the average of your stealth and your relevant weapon skill, which basically is going to be short blades. If you're trying to stab with anything but short blades, you're not going to be too happy. Although long blades, club spears, tridents, demon tridents, trishulas, and Felid's unarmed combat skill have a lesser but still relatively significant bonus. Yeah, at level 27, you get a plus 1,102.5% stabbing bonus. That's against sleeping or paralyzed enemies. If things are petrified, petrifying, or held in a net, then it's only up like plus 400%. Still, you know, plus an additional 4 times. Yeah, it's a lot of extra damage. Stabbing is a fun way to play the game. I actually have a character going that is a fairly successful stabber. I think he's level 16 or so. And let's see, is this inert still? Oh. No, cool. I guess we gained enough experience to recharge it. That's nice. So we can probably stand to use our evocables more. Spiders, Sack of Spiders is not like the elemental evocables. It does not recharge with your experience. It just has a set number of charges. Evocations is at 11.5. Yeah. I still like our skill spread. I feel like it's pretty reasonable. Just, constantly cranking up our defenses. And, a little bit of offense here. Like, long blades is our only pure offensive skill that we're training. Fighting provides a little bit, but not much. It's mostly just for the extra hit points. I mean, we have a good chunk of hit points, 169. We'll end up, I believe, with around 300. If we make it all the way to level 27 and train our fighting to 27. Maybe even more than 300. Over 9,000! If you remember that particular meme. Yeah, so I think probably what we'll do next is the vaults. The depths I have underestimated several times, fatally underestimated several times. And I do not wish to do that again. So we will definitely do at least Vaults 1 through 4 before heading into the depths. Vaults 5 and the depths are... Vaults 5 is harder than the depths. Certainly. At least, the first level of the depths. You don't find ancient liches, for example, all that frequently in the depths. Although I think they can appear. I don't know for certain. Let's find that out. Good to know. No. Ancient liches do not appear in the depths. But fire giants, frost giants, and titans do. And those are scary enough. Plus, flayed ghosts are somewhat recently, and within the past handful of patches. Yeah, prior to 0.13, they didn't really do anything. They just were high hit point melee fighters. But now they have a torment-like effect that is temporary. If you kill them or if you escape them and stay out of their line of sight for a while, you regain all the hit points that you lost instantly. But if they're standing behind, say, a wall of dragons, you can end up dead really quickly because they just chunk your hit points down to, 1/8 of what they were to begin with, and then the dragon hits you once, and poof, you're dead. So that's why flayed ghosts are scary. That's a good reason to have a scroll of holy word lying around. So the scroll of branding that we found was in fact the scroll that we had in our stash. So we can rebrand that scimitar. Let's go ahead and... Do we care? We don't really care. We're not using this scimitar anyway. We're using this cool longsword. I mean, the scimitar is a little bit extra base damage because of its enchantment level. We could get it up even higher, but just the fact that this gives us 4 dexterity as well, and has the electricity brand, which is better than flaming on a scimitar. Like, scimitar's base damage isn't high enough that flaming is better than electricity is on our longsword. Electrocution, rather. Though they are making electrocution somewhat weaker, I believe, in 0.15. So that is a nerf rather than a buff. There are a lot of buffs in 0.15, but that is not one of them. They are making it weaker, which I think is fine. It is a little bit unbalancing if you find an electrocution weapon very early in the dungeon. You just slaughter everything. Like, you kill most monsters in one proc of the brand. And of course, if monsters have them, you die very rapidly too. So I'm glad that they're kind of toning it down a little bit. Especially since if you had electrocution on a quick blade, which has an extremely low attack delay, you could just chuck things 1,000 times and they would fall over. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video. We've cleaned up our inventory a smidgen. Um, let's, before we forget, recharge our Wand of Healing. Yeah, see, we're at 16 mana points, which is fine. I mean, again, we're not really casting spells. We have a couple just for funsies. Um, mostly, like, apportation is nice if there's something that's just, you know, out of reach and it's annoying and we want it, but we can't get to it. It doesn't have to be a very good success rate. Blink, I'm not super happy about the fact that it's a 14% success rate. I would, generally, for my escape buttons, I want them to be lower than that. But, you know, being able to pop around, kind of nice. And you know, we may find ourselves in a circumstance where we've used all of our scrolls of blinking. I am going to actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to drop off one of these scrolls of blinking. I'm hanging on to these scrolls of recharging for no good reason. I really should be using them to recharge our wands instead of our mana points. That's just a blunder on my part, I think. Anything else we need to do? We can drop up some of these potions of curing. I think 4 is probably plenty. Yeah. Alright. We need to remember to use this potion of heal wounds first if we need healing, since it does the same thing as Wand of Heal Wounds, and it takes up an additional slot, so bleh. Drop this brand weapon scroll back off. Might as well. No reason to carry those around while we know that we have 3 charges here. And in a pinch, we can always, you know, pay a mana point to recharge it. We're just generally strong enough that we don't need to teleport out of situations at this point, though that could change. The vaults could be really tough. Alright, I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.